Oh, hello, great readers. I'm Belchan.
I'm Nimikung.
I'm Belchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chap. 34 sec, 4 of Jane Eyre, an autobiography.
As.
Ah.
Jane Eyre, an autobiography. Brontë. Chap. 34 sec, 4. Hold me into all our present. Me to look sad. Happiness at its source of evil of suspense. Perhaps you think I had forgotten Mr. Rochester. Reader. Amidst these changes of place and fortune. Moment. His idea was still with me. Sunshine could disperse. Moor centuries to Fiji storms could wash away. A name graven on a tablet. It inscribed. The craving to know what had become of him followed me everywhere. When I was at Morton. Oh, that. And now at Moorhouse. To brood over it. In the course of my necessary correspondence with Mr. about the will, I had inquired if he knew anything of Mr. present residence and state of health. But Astri. John had conjectured. He was quite ignorant of all concerning him. I then wrote to Miss Fairfax entreating information on the subject. This step answering mind, I felt sure it would elicit in early answer. I was astonished when a fortnight passed without reply wore away, and day after day the post arrived and brought nothing for me. I fell a prey to the keenest anxiety. I wrote again a chance of my first letter having missed. Renewed hope followed renewed effort. Shone like the former for some weeks, then like it faded, flickered, not a line, not a word reached. And half a year wasted in vain expectancy, my hope died out. I felt dark indeed. I find spring shone round me in joy. Summer approached. Diana tried to cheer me ill and wished to accompany me to the seaside. This street deposed. He said I did not want dissipation. I wanted employment. Present life was too purposeless. I required a name, and I suppose, by way of supplying deficiencies, he prolonged still further my lessons in Indostain, and grew more urgent in requiring their accomplishment, and I, fool, never thought of resisting him. He could not resist him. Come to my studies in lower spirits than usual, I poignantly felt disappointment. Better for me, and when I went on to take it, that the law moved. For tidings were vouchsafed me at last, an important note from Mr. Briggs. On business, me some cheers, and now and flourishing tropes of an Indian scribe, my eyes fill again. Street called me to. His side to read filled me, words were lost in sobs. Occupied the parlour, Diana was practising her music in the drawing room. Was gardening. It was a very fine May day, clear, sunny and breezy. My companion expressed no surprise at this emotion as to its cause. He only said, "We will wait a few minutes." Jane haste. He sat calm and patient, leaning on his desk in a patient's malady. Having stifled my sobs, wiped my eyes, muttered something about not being very well that morning. I resumed my task and succeeded in completing it. Street John put away my books and locked his desk and said, "Now, Jane, walk." "No, I want only one companion this morning. Be you. Put on your things, go out by the kitchen door, towards the head of Marshglen. I know no medium, never in my life have known any medium in my things with positive characters antagonistic to my own between absolute submission and determined revolt. I've always faithfully observed the one up to the very moment of bursting, sometimes with volcanic vehemence, into the other. And as neither present circumstances warranted, nor my present mood inclined me to meet in east John's directions of the Gling side by side with him, the breeze was from the west. It came over the hills, sweet with scents of heath and rush. The sky was a stainless blue, the stream descending the ravine past spring rains poured along plentiful and clear sun and sapphires from now. From a mid-track we trod a soft turf musty finand, emerald green enamelled with a tiny white flower and spangled with a star-like yellow blossom. The hills meantime shut us quite in. For the Gling, it said, went to their very core. Let us rest here, said Street John, as we reached the first stragglers of a battalion of rocks, a sort of pass beyond which the beck rushed down a waterfall where, still a little farther, the mountain scoffed turf and flower, savage solitude, and a last refuge for silence. I took a seat street. John stood near me. He looked up the pass and down the hollow. His glance wandered away with the stream which colored he removed his hat and kissed his brow. He seemed in communing with the genius of the haunt. With his eye he bade farewell to something. They said aloud, in dreams when I sleep by the Ganges, of a strange love, an austere patriot's passion for his fatherland. Then, for half an hour we never spoke. Him that interval past, I commenced. Jane, I go in 6 weeks. God will protect you. For you have undertaken his work, I answered. Said he, there is my glory in Dre, an infallible master. I am not going out under human guidance, the defective laws and are in control of my feeble fellow worms. My king, Lagavir, my captain, is the all perfect. All have not your powers. I do not speak to the feeble, or think of them, only such as are worthy of the work. Those are few in number, you say truly, but when found, urge and exhort them to the effort, still show them what their good are. Why they were given to speak heaven's message, and there to offer them God. If they are really qualified for the task, an awful charm was framing round and gathering over me some fatal words spoken which would have once declare and rivet the spell. Does your heart say? Demanded Street John. Aye. And so struck and thrilled. Then I must speak for it, continued the relentless voice. Jane, come with me to India. Sky spun round, the hills heaved. A summons from heaven, as if a visionary messenger, like him of Macedonia, announced the herald he could not receive his call. O Street John, I cry, I appeal to one who, in the discharge of what he believed his duty, knew neither mercy nor remorse. He continued, a missionary's wife. It is not personal, you are on for labour. Not for love. You shall be. You shall be mine. I came in for my pleasure. I am not fit for it. I have no vocation, I said. Had calculated on the first objections. He was not irritated by them. Indeed, as he leaned back against the crate behind him, his chest, and fixed his countenance long and trying opposition him to its close result, however, that close should be conquest for him. Humility, Jane said, he is the groundwork of Christian virtues. Write that you are not fit for the work. Who is fit for it? Or who that ever was truly? Cold summons? I, for instance, am but dust and ashes. With the street, Paul, I acknowledge myself the chiefest of sinners, so for this sense of my personal vileness to daunt me. I know my leader, that he is just as well as mighty, feeble instrument to perform a great task, he will have stores of his. Providence supplied the inadequacy of the means to the end. Things like me, Jane, a trust like me. Ask you to lean on, I do not understand a missionary life, I humble as I am. Didn't give you the aid you want, I can set you your task. From hour to hour, stand by you always. Help you from moment to moment. This I could do in the beginning, myself, but my powers, where are they for this undertaking? Then, nothing speaks so stirs in me while you talk. I've no light kindling, no life quickening, and no voice cancelling or sharing. Our rayless dungeon, I have an answer for you here. Ever since we first met, I have made you my study. For 10 months, I have proved you in that time by sundry tests. I seen and elicited. In the village school I found you could perform. Well, punctually, uprightly, they be congenial to your habits and inclinations. You could perform it with capacity intact, you could win well. You controlled. In the calm with which you learned, you had become suddenly rich. With a mind clear of the vices of Miss Slucker had no undue power over. You, in the resolute readiness with which you cut your wealth into 4 shares. Keeping but one to yourself, abstract just as sacrifice. In the tractability with which, at my wish, study in which you were interested. And adopted another because it interested me, qualities I seek. Jane, you are docile, diligent, disinterested, faithful. Constant and courageous, very gentle and very heroic. Mistress Sophie can trust you unreservedly, as a conductress of Indian schools. I help amongst Indian women, my iron shirt contracted round me. With slow sure step, shut my eyes as I would of his. Succeeded in making the way which had seemed blocked up clear. My work, which had appeared so vague, so hopelessly diffuse, condensed itself as he proceeded and assumed a definite form under his shaping hand. He waited for an answer. Think before I again hazarded a reply. Very willingly he rejoined, and rising, he strode a little distance up the pass full of heath, and there lay. Still, to do I am forced to see and acknowledge that I meditated at that. Is if life be spared me, be long protracted under an Indian sun. What then? For that, when my time came today, he would resign me in all serenity and sanctity to the God you gave me. It's very plain before me, in leaving England, but empty London. Worcester is not there, and if he were, is what can that ever be to me? Without him now, nothing so day to day as if I were waiting some impossible change in circumstances which might reunite me to him. Of course, the street I must seek another interest in life to replace the one lost. To be continued.